Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Economics Insider. Today we have a special guest. Here we have Elisa Huerta, who is a history specialist of the 80s in the practice of the legal field of business and is currently aware of the Meta Corporation case.
Hello, it is a pleasure being here with you. So today is a very crucial day, isn't it? Have you seen the news?
Wait, are you referring to the Mark Zuckerberg case?
Yes, it is such a controversial case because even if it involves a monopoly structure, it has to follow the laws that regulate interstate commerce, but it doesn't make sense.
Wait, that's a lot of information. So a monopoly, like the board game?
Well, not exactly referring to maybe the monopoly within the economy.
But what's that?
Well, let me explain to you. According to Hicks in the U.S. News and World Report, it refers to a market structure where there's only one business that acts as the only supplier of a good and service, in which they have completed and control of the prices.
Oh, so in that case, consumers don't have any alternative, right? Are they obligated to purchase it at the price that the business wants?
Yes, that's correct.
So, how did this actually start?
Well, let me go back in history a bit. To put you in context, there was this American businessman and investor who industrialized the oil industry to the point of monopolizing it.
Really? But how could this possibly happen?
So basically, back in 1870, he founded the Standard Oil Company.
But wait, who is this man we're talking about?
The man I'm talking about is David Rockefeller. This man is remembered as one of the richest and most powerful men in the U.S.
Was it all due to his Standard Oil Company?
Exactly, but also the way he handled the main product of his business, which was oil.
So what happened?
Rockefeller found out that kerosene was an affordable way to create light for the average family, so he processed it and used it as lamps.
So did people actually buy this?
They sure did. He even gave him an opportunity to establish a monopoly based in the kerosene industry.
So he is known for the establishment of the kerosene monopoly?
Well, that is an important part.
Oh, so there's more?
Yes. So the kerosene market did not last for long due to the new technologies. Can you guess which was this?
Surely the introduction of electricity, right?
That is correct. With the introduction of electricity in the market, people started switching to using it.
And what happened to Rockefeller's oil industry? Did he switch to the electrical industry?
No, he did not move into the electrical industry. Rockefeller looked for a different approach in the same market.
But how?
So what he did was refine the oil to obtain gasoline.
I see what is coming. Did he maintain a monopoly within the same oil industry?
You are correct. A current example I can tell is Pemex here in Mexico.
That is very interesting. I'd never heard of Rockefeller.
I as well know of Andrew Carnegie and his monopoly in the steel industry. Do you know what he did?
No, but please tell me.
Well, picture this. You grow up in a small town in Scotland, your family moves to America to obtain a better life, and you become one of the richest men in the whole country.
How?
Well, according to the Washington State University, in 1892, he founded Carnegie Steel Company, and then managed to control the complete process of steel production.
Wait, so like a vertical monopoly?
Exactly like that. For the ones who don't know, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, a vertical monopoly is the only one where companies control many stages of the production process instead of relying on external suppliers. So Carnegie controlled everything from the steel mines to the transportation, dominating the whole steel industry eventually.
And did that end well for him?
Not exactly. His workers went on strike because of poor conditions, and he decided to focus on philanthropy rather than business, where he gave away much of his wealth. Still, his name is still on the top of everyone's mind, even when it comes to speaking of monopolies mainly.
But not only are monopolies just based in history. In the beginning, we mentioned a possible monopolistic company that has arisen, the Mark Zuckerberg case.
Actually, according to Reuters in 2022, the case by the Federal Trade Commission argues that the company proposed a deal to buy virtual reality and content makers for the intent, and I quote, with intention to create a monopoly in the market for virtual reality dedicated fitness apps. Not only is Mark Zuckerberg trialed, but also the CEO, which is Chris Milk, and Chief Technology Andrew Bosworth. Information derived from the Reuters published in 2022.
Yet, what exactly are they being trialed for?
Well, he is utilizing horizontal integration.
But what is horizontal integration?
It is seen as another monopolizing concept, which is illegal, as we all know. Horizontal integration is a combining of a number of firms engaged in the same enterprise into a single corporation, like a holding company, stated by Corianne Hanks in 2022 from the U.S. News and World Report.
In Mark Zuckerberg's case, there are many firms such as Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook as a single corporation, which is his corporation known as Meta, right?
Yes, actually in 2020, the Washington Post stated that Meta Corporation, which is a part of Facebook, bought Instagram for $1 billion in 2012 and WhatsApp for $19 billion in 2014, which in a sense is what got him the Meta Corporation trial.
Yet, what does prevent Mark Zuckerberg from committing these purchases?
Glad you asked. There is this one law that prohibits agreements, contracts, and conspiracies that restrain trade.
Oh, I've heard about this law before. Do you mean the Sherman Antitrust Act?
Exactly. This law was enacted in 1890 with the purpose of preventing monopolies and promoting competition.
Going back to what we mentioned in the beginning, this was following the events of Rockefeller creating a monopoly in the oil industry in the 1870s, right?
Correct. According to the Department of Justice, Archives of the U.S., this law has two main provisions. Section 1, which prohibits agreements of conspiracies and restraint of trade such as price fixing, market allocation, and bid rigging. And Section 2, which prohibits monopolization or attempts to monopolize a market.
Does this law only apply to companies in the United States?
Yes, but many countries have their own laws and regulations designated to prevent monopolies and promote competition, which may be similar to Sherman Act in some respects.
Oh, like how the European Union has its own competition law?
Exactly. According to the European Commission, their law includes provisions to prohibit anti-competitive agreements and abuses of dominant positions in the market.
Yeah, but monopolies are no joke within the United States.
In fact, the Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, stated, and I quote, "Today we are sending a clear and strong message to Facebook and every other company that in any efforts to stifle competition, hurt businesses, reduce innovation and creativity, and cut privacy protections will be met with full force of our offices," which was derived from the Washington Post in 2020.
So in a sense, Facebook, or should I say Meta Corporation, was like the last straw in the government and they decided to proceed with action on their corporation?
Exactly. What a case, isn't it?
I agree. Even though it is a current case, it involves a lot of historical facts that I personally did not know.
Right. The topic towards monopoly can really affect the market, society, and the economic standing within the government. And Mark Zuckerberg is an example of that nowadays.
Market in the sense of what?
Well, monopolies take effect on a market when they raise the prices, and with this raise leads to inefficiently smaller quantity of products, also known as an underproduction problem, which Meta Corporation can use to their advantage, but in the sense of virtual reality and social media. And with higher prices within these monopolies, it can create a society where they're limited to only these prices, which can cause a feeling of being forced to buy from those companies due to the lack of alternatives in the market. Which, if you ask me, I think it is pretty creepy, especially if we think about Meta and how they're basically everywhere, from our Instagram posts to even our personal messages used by the company.
Yeah, honestly, they're everywhere. WhatsApp, Messenger, Instagram, and Facebook. That's scary.
While the economic standing, these monopolies that generate high market power acquire large economic profits, which affect the economic standing of a government.
Such as Meta, which could require high economic profits if the merging of these companies were to take place.
Not only do we have to take into account factors such as the market power, but as well the consumers of Meta Corporation, which are basically paid advertisements. And businesses, with the change in market power, there's an increase in price for these consumers that publish advertisements.
Wow, I really had no idea monopolies were still a relevant topic these days.
Well, now you do. And one way to apply this to our future business owners out there is that when you're making a decision in your business or corporation, it is crucial to look over each business decision to prevent a monopoly.
Yeah, I agree. It was such a great talk. Unfortunately, we don't have more time, but it was a pleasure having you and learning a bit more about monopolies. That was Elisa Huerta, and I'm Sofia Randall. Thank you for listening to the Economics Insider. See you in the next episode.